Okay, what's up, guys? My name is TMossBoss, and I wanted to let you guys know about Anchor. Anchor is an app that you can download to record your podcast in the easiest way ever. Like, it doesn't require a whole lot to know. Like, you just pretty much press record and you just start doing your podcast and stuff. I don't know what you plan on doing, but you plan on doing something. That's why you're here. So, yeah, download Anchor, or you could go to their website, anchor.fm, and yeah, you could do it straight from your computer too. So yeah, it's easy. They distribute everything to they distribute your podcast to every streaming services like out there, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere. Okay, and then you can monetize it, so you're making money off of what you love doing. All right, so people, make sure you do it. Make sure you download Anchor, or you go to their website, anchor.fm. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for listening. Peace. Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Now, in this episode, I'll be talking about the job that I was working at for 4 years, but due to the coronavirus, I was laid off. So, it was able to give me more time to focus on YouTube. See, that's the thing, though. Like, I didn't really want, like, a pandemic to aid me in my YouTube career and stuff. Like, I wanted me to aid me in my YouTube career. So, it's kind of messed up, like, due to the circumstances of, me doing YouTube full time. But at the same time, I'm not complaining. I'm like, cool, dope. It's what I wanted and stuff. But, back in 2016, like, May of 2016, I was working. I started working at this like cafe in downtown Seattle, and it was like in partnership with that clothing store, Nordstrom's. So we were like underneath some sort of contract and stuff. But anyways, the place was cool though. It was really cool. Like all the way up to I have to say like the first like few I don't know. The first year I worked there, it was kind of bumpy and stuff. But then after a while, I got used to everything and everything was Gucci. It was all good and stuff. But anyways, first year. Well, let me just start off by like talking about like everything that happened. So this is gonna pretty much be like a story time of the 4 years I was working at this place and things. But so it was funny because so it's in downtown Seattle where I used to work. Never been I've been to downtown Seattle, but I just don't go. Like if I'm going out there, I know where one place is at, and that's where my mom's job is at. But any other place, out of my reach. I'm like, can't go a block away, can't go down the street, can't do nothing. It's funny how I'm like, now I know everything that I need to know about downtown Seattle now, but back then, this would have been like 10 years ago, and somebody would have asked me, like, where's the Space Needle? I'm like, I don't know. It's in Seattle. I know that much, but I don't know exactly where. Like, I don't know. No, I don't like know like streets and names and all that stuff, but I just know like windows and stores like by heart. I'm like, okay, so if I end up at this North Face, then right across the street is a Nike store, then right down the street, then you make a left and things, and you make a left at this window, then you're at Nordstrom's and stuff. So I'm like, that's my direction. That's what I'm like, people. That's one thing I did not like about working downtown is when tourists would come up to me about like, hey, where's this building at? I'm like, and I remember I had a coworker there, my manager. I had her laughing about that because me and her, we both related on that stuff. And how people come up to us, and I'm like, okay, so you see this building right here, what you gonna want to do? I'm like, I ain't telling them street names or none of that. Now I just tell people, I'm like, when I don't feel like giving out directions, I'm just like, well, I'm not from here, I'm a tourist. But they're like, but you're wearing a uniform shirt. I'm out of town. I'm like, I don't know this place. I'm like, I work in freaking parts unknown where that WWE wrestler Kane is from. So but anyways, I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I'm like, people come up to me, or them like animal activist people. There's gonna be a lot of things I am not gonna miss. That thing what this episode is mainly going to be about is things I'm not going to miss about Seattle. Because I'm telling you, them animal activist people, they will try to make you feel so bad. I've had to lie about my age, lie about how much money I have, lie about money that, I had but I didn't have on me. Like, them guys was forever trying to get $20 out of somebody. I'm like, bro, I am trying to go home, or if it was early in the morning, they wasn't usually there early in the morning. But I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to go home. They was always there in the afternoon, so that's what I'm like. Well, there was with some coworkers and things where, it was like me and my supervisor, shout out to Jack. the bass player in the band Monitor. You guys should go check out their music and things. But me and him, we already knew their deal, so we would either cross the street or just start up a conversation between us and things, just so we can overall not like get involved with those guys. Because I'm telling you, they would. If I was like, so if I was by myself, so let's say if I was like the like first or last one to leave, right? And I have these, if you guys watch my YouTube videos, I have these Studio Beats by Dre headphones. They're big headphones. I can understand maybe if there was like them like Apple earpods, but I don't have those. I don't. I'm afraid of buying those because I'm like, I don't want to like trip and fall or slip and fall one day. The next thing you know, knowing my luck, that earpod then fell out my ear and then went down the sewer drain or something. So I'm like, I just can't invest in one of those. I know I probably put so many people in fear. They were thinking about buying them. I'm like, just get you some Beats by Dre, those freaking the power beats. That's what they call them and stuff. But anyways, yeah, them animal activist people, you'll be listening to your music with these giant headphones on, and they'll be like waving in front of you and like, excuse me. So this is the ASPCA, whatever their name is. We're like, but yeah, we just overall want to get $20 out of you to donate to our charity and things. I'm like, why won't you guys just sell me a dog so I can feel much better and know where my money is? Like, then I'm like, okay, if I have the dog, then I know where the money is going to, because I'm the one spending the money and stuff for this dog. But I don't know, you guys, y'all could be sitting there going to a freaking shirt creation store and be creating these shirts, making it seem like that you guys, I'm like, y'all ain't got no websites? I'm like, I'll go on the website and do a donation, but I'm like, I'm not overall doing no those. And they were like, man, I'm telling you, they seriously, there's like at times where I think like girls was like, that was a part of that group, seriously be flirting with you just to end it off by saying, oh, so you want to donate 20? I'm like, look, don't do that. Don't do that. It's like, it's either me and you gonna be somebody or something, we're gonna be a thing, or we're not. But I ain't gonna, like, oh, donate $20 and I get to take you on a date. Get out of my face with that. So, anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna miss that at all about downtown Seattle. I'm actually glad that I'm like, cool, Gucci, like all this stuff is going on. Them guys can be indoors and things. I'm like, hopefully, they probably still out there. They probably wearing like a face mask and all that stuff, like, so still like, doing the social distancing and all that stuff. I'm like, man, you guys are some dedicated people and stuff, but I don't know. I'm like, to me, they scamming. I'm like, something don't seem right. Why y'all out here? Like, everybody has iPhones, computers, iPads, and all that stuff. They want to donate some money to them. They could go on a website and things. Y'all got a website, don't you? But dang, just as worse. And then across the street would be the dudes selling their mixtapes and things. I'm like, look, if it ain't on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, I'm not listening to it. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't care how fire it is. I'm not listening to it. So, but anyways, but yeah, first year working at this place. So it was cool. I was getting along with everybody besides one person, and it just so happened because I was a cashier and this person was a cashier too. So yeah, we were kind of having like a little like a coworker rivalry and things. Like, we were doing little petty stuff to each other, like make each other mad and things. But that was the thing though. Like, I think she was more so mad at me because I didn't know nothing. But that's the thing. I didn't know nothing. This was my first job ever and stuff. So I'm like, well, what did you expect? Like, I'm not like some like 10-year, 15, 20-year veteran at this stuff. Like, I just started doing this. Like, what do you expect? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not like, freaking A+ cashier like everybody else that then came through here, but I ain't got no experience. So I'm gonna need some help. Like I overall was telling people that I'm like, look, I don't know what I'm doing, so I need help. I'm gonna need somebody to like be here helping me and things. Like, you ain't gonna have me up here with a long line and stuff, and then all these people get mad at me, and I'm like, look, I don't know nothing, and they pinned me up here by myself. So they did like have me go through like some training and stuff, and then then it was just like seeing like what can I could do and things. So it's like progressing and things. But yeah, that one cashier, she just did like, it was like an on and off thing, like, but it was mainly off, like, rather than on. I'd say probably the only time we actually had like a good conversation is we were talking about Beyonce, because everybody loves Beyonce and stuff. So that was like the one and only time I had to say we had like a good conversation. But other than that, yeah, we were, because that's the thing that we would do when we're while working there. So somebody's behind us, right? And there's these like push doors that you go out and stuff to leave the kitchen area and stuff. So I do that for everybody. I don't care who it is. I do that for everybody. I always hold the door open for them and stuff. And even if then it's like if I'm doing something and see like they're pushing the cart, I'll even like run to the door and like open it up for them just so it could be a little bit easier and stuff. I kid you guys not. Like this girl, I'll be like, she knows that I'm walking behind her. It's I'm serious. Like I'm pretty much a shadow behind her, so you can very well see me. All right. Plus the lights was on. It wasn't like it was that dark. I'm not a dark individual and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how you ain't seen me behind you. But yeah, just overall, just let the door just close in my face. So that was our thing for a little bit. But then she ended up quitting. I'm like, like at the time being, I was like, you know what? I don't necessarily like see myself ever being cool with her. But I'm like, I don't know. I became a person where I'm like, I don't really care. Like that was in the past. Like it's done and over with. I think if I were to see her today, like probably give her a head nod. She gives me a head nod back. I would say that we're cool and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, I ain't gonna hold no grudges and stuff. That was in the past. I'm more so focused on my future and things. So. But yeah, we were beefing a little bit, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, maybe we should just talk about Beyonce every time. When we get mad at each other, let's just start talking about Beyonce. I'm like, yeah, Crazy in Love and Jay-Z, that song, that was a dope song. Good video, too. Like, just start up conversations like that from now on. But anyways, and then everybody else, like, the cooks was cool. The cooks and the chefs, they were cool, too. Because one of the chef, he was like the head chef over like all of them. So he'll be traveling back and forth to like all of the like places and things. There's like 2 other locations that was in the area and stuff. So it was dope because he was pretty much like an older version of me. Like, dude, the 2 main things that we like really talked about with each other, and we also like playing pranks on each other too. But we talked about video games and wrestling. So it was like latest video games come out or the latest wrestling pay-per-view. What made me mad though, one day he went and bought tickets to one of the WrestleMania shows. I'm saying like I thought we were cool. Like you could have brought me and stuff. Like I would have paid my way and things. But I mean, dang, now I'm playing though. But no, I thought it was dope though that he did go to WrestleMania and stuff. I was like, that was pretty dope. But anyways, but yeah, we were constantly like playing pranks on each other. And then it led to where we were playing pranks on other people and stuff. So yeah, but then it was like on and off. It was like on and off with everybody there. Like, but we were all cool with each other. But it wasn't like one day we're mad, one day. But it was like one day we'll be on each other's side, and then next thing you know, we're teaming up with somebody to mess with this person and things. So. It was, but yeah, there's at times where we would be like, I would be pranking my like own like co-workers or like the people that I would work around, because there was like the back of the house and front of the house. So I would be like, and I was front of the house, so cashier and stuff. So yeah, I would be pranking like the cashiers that I worked with and things. I'm like, wait a minute, like hold up, I'm not even a chef or a cook and things. I'm out here teaming up against my own people and stuff. So that's how we had some fun. I'm telling you, that place, it was fun to work there. That was the one thing I really did like about it. It was like you wasn't gonna. It's like if you went in there mad, it had to be something like outside of work. And if you left that place mad, it was a customer. I'll get to the customers and stuff, but anyways, but yeah, it was like all the coworkers there from like when I very first started all the way up until my last days working there. They were all cool. It wasn't like no like drama or beef or anything's going on when I left. But yeah, just mainly in the beginning. Yeah, but it was just that it was kind of like happening with the supervisor, but I think it was just like a miscommunication. Like like she's telling me one thing, but I'm telling her another. But then we had to go sit in the back and things. And then me being that rebellious person, I definitely had to admit to that. And I think that that's something she can definitely agree on, is that I was very rebellious and I did not like to listen. Because I'm like, you telling me one thing, and I'm like, well, I think it's Gucci and stuff. And she's like, it's not Gucci. And nobody says Gucci. It's like, it's either good or it's bad. And I'm like, well, it's Gucci. I'm like, and then we had to go in the back. But no, it was just like a miscommunication. But even on her, like, because I worked there, I pretty much seen like a whole new staff when working there and stuff. So everybody, by the time I had left, the original people that was working there was all gone. I was the only original person that was working. It was me, and it was one of the other managers and stuff. But everybody else was pretty much like gone off to other places and things. So anyways, yeah, or they either got transferred to a different location, or they pretty much like left the company and stuff. So Yeah, I was like, it was me and yeah, and the other manager. I was like, it was crazy when I was like sitting down thinking about it and stuff, and even those guys is bringing it up because they was just like, dang, you was like the longest one working here and stuff out of everybody else. But I'm like, but no, that was the thing because even so, I know the manager that hired me because he said he had been working there I think for 11 years, and then the supervisor at the time, she said she had been working there for 8 years. So I probably had to have been like the third, or actually no, the fourth, because the manager he started before me. So yeah, I was like the fourth longest person working in that place, or like holding the record if we're gonna talk about records and stuff. As my knowledgement, but anybody else I ain't really knowing things. But anyways, but yeah, then it was like the very next year I started. Then they hired the bass player of the band and my friend Jack. Shout out to him. But yeah, they hired him, and then he pretty much man. It was honestly like having a friend from school working with you and stuff. Like he's like that cool, laid back guy, just like chilling and things. And it was funny. Whereas like the only time I would see him mad is when a customer does like some crazy stuff. Like now to like talk on the customers, because I'm telling you that like some of the customers there were a different breed. They were not human. There is customers there that were so chill, so cool. I'm like, you are definitely the people that I would be hanging out with like after work and stuff. Like y'all are chill, y'all are cool. Like seriously, I like you guys. Y'all, I'm like you guys is pretty cool. But then there's other customers that will be stealing. Like it was funny. So there was at a point in time. So there's this one girl that was stealing like breakfast food and things. She'll come up to me saying that I only paid for like or I'm only got 2 pieces of bacon, but she has like this big giant box. So I'm like, all right, maybe she's gonna be like, maybe she has some like things upstairs and stuff, and she's gonna add it with it, But I ain't gonna go out like off the back and just accuse her of stealing and things. So that's not me. So I'm like, all right, total would be $2.20 instead of $10 because you got 10 pieces of bacon. So then she'll walk away, and then then there was another cashier says that she was like, how many bacon, or she like, did she only pay for 2 pieces of bacon? I'm like, yeah, that's what she told me. And then all of a sudden she's like, no, they got 10 pieces. And so then we had to do an open box policy. So customers was chill. So when they would come up to me and ask me, some of the customers was chill, so they'll come up and ask me like, oh, why is there an open box policy? And I'm like, oh, people was saying they got one thing, but in reality they got like 10 different things. And and they were like, there were some customers that was just so chill about it. They was just like, oh, that's messed up, well, here it is, I'm opening my box and stuff, and that sounds so weird. I'm like, no, don't. Opening up my like food container. Yeah, there we go. So but yeah, overall they pretty much like open up the box, show me their food and things. I'm like, okay, so you got this, cool. Then there's other customers that'll come up, and I'm like, oh, can you please open up your box? And they're like, what do you mean why I gotta open up? I'm like, oh, we got a open box policy, so I have to like check and see what food that you. Well, I never steal. Why do you assume that I'm stealing? I'm like, I'm not assuming that you're stealing. My managers have put these papers out saying that there is an open box policy. So my managers think that you're stealing. I could care less what you have in your box. So I'm just saying, can you just please open the box so this confrontation can just end already? And they just getting so hostile and upset and things, and then just so they can open up their box. And I'm like, bro, you did all that for what? Like, I'm saying, like, at least, like, don't open the box and things, so then, it could have ended off in your favor and stuff. But I'm like, you did all of this for what? A waste of time. So yeah, I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I've beefed with a lot of customers at that place from like going back and forth with them. I'd never forget the one customer. He was like yelling in my face because he thought I was overcharging him with fruit, and I'm trying to explain to him like fruit is 60 cents per ounce. So I'm like, whatever you got, it's gonna add up. Plus there's like water like mixed in with this fruit and stuff. Like you layered that thing with a bunch of like watermelon and a bunch of other things. Like, and that water is weighing it down, and it's not like fruit is light. It ain't like it's a piece of paper or it's gonna be lighter than the cup or container that you're putting it in and stuff. So I'm like, bro, just like you freaking. My thing is that. Oh, it was like one of my friends. They just text me they're gonna do their next video. So it was one of my friends. Shout out to Four Souls. They just texted me their next video idea and stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna be lit. I can't wait for that. So, anyways, but he's like yelling in my face and things about it and stuff. And I'm like, bro, look, that's what you put in the container. All right, so pay for it. My thing is that you work for like freaking Nordstrom's. These guys is in here walking around with Balenciaga clothes, Gucci shoes, freaking what else? I'm telling you, these guys is like, they're not like dressed like me, and I come in there with some Adidas sweats and some Nike shoes and stuff, not even matching or being coordinated and things. Like, these guys has like coordinated Balenciaga outfits, a $300 Balenciaga hoodie, most likely some expensive pants, and almost $1,000 Balenciaga shoes. You mean to tell me that you can't pay for $4 to $6 worth of fruit? Oh my god. I'm like, man, and I'm like out here just like, I would be willing. I'm like, whatever I put in there, that's what I want and stuff. So I'm like, if I have to pay for it, I have to pay for it. But dang, like, I didn't realize it was that big of a problem. But yeah, they be going off about that. And I'm like, all right, like, put the fruit up there, things like whatever, like, dang. But yeah, then the one guy, he was like yelling at me, so I was like, he paid for it overall. I'm like, okay. I feel like a part of them, when they're doing all that arguing, they're expecting me to like put the price down a little bit, but I'm like, I'm not. Like, whatever you got, that's what you got. And he was like still standing there like yelling at me and things. I just looked at the next customer and I'm like, how's your day going? I'm not listening to this guy. Like, if you're gonna swing, but if you not, then get out of my face. But anyways, I'm like, man, that was one thing that I always thought of. I'm like, dang, what if I get into a fight with one of the customers here? Because alright, so to speak on that, because there was a time where it wasn't a full-on physical altercation, but technically I had to like, it wasn't like a stiff arm, but it was like a stiff forearm. So to explain that story, so there's this customer. He hated me. I don't know what I did to him, but he hated me. So, yeah, because to speak on everything prior before, so I would be talking to him, like, or I'll, like, when he'll walk up and have his food and stuff, I'm like, hey, how's your day going? Absolutely nothing, complete silence. Or he'll just be like, oh, I'm having an omelet. I'm like, all right, I asked you a question, but all right, so an omelet, $5.78. Would you like a receipt with that? Hands me his either money or card and stuff. No response. I'm like, all right, so I guess you don't want the receipt and things. Just so him to be all like, I want the receipt. And I'm like, well, it's called English. I'm like, speak it, bro, because I'm saying, like, it'd be very helpful if you spoke a little bit of English when talking to somebody and things, or at least acknowledge them when they saying something to you. But then I'm like, all right, have a nice day. Walks off. I'm like, why are people so rude, bro? Dang, just respond to when a person is talking to you. Like, I'm like, my thing is, like, you ain't gonna do that to nobody else, like, like, your coworkers, your boss, or nobody. I'm like, saying, treat everybody with equal respect, bro. Like, dang. But anyways, yeah, that was, like, every day with us. That little confrontation that I just explained to you guys, that was every single day of the week when he would come through there. So, he hated me overall. So there's a day I was coming into work, and I'm walking, and he's in the elevator area with a few other people, and I think it was like maybe a couple other, there was like 2 girls that was there. So us being gentlemen, we let the girls go on first. I'm surprised he let the girls go on first, but anyways, we let the girls go on first. And he is taking his sweet, precious time walking into the elevators. And I'm looking at him like, overall, watch the movie Stand By Me. And remember when the fat kid was like crawling across the train track and his friend was standing behind him and things, but he was being all slow about it. And the way that kid was looking at his friend, that's exactly how I was looking at that guy. So he's taking his sweet precious time going into the elevator, and the doors had started closing. So I stopped the doors, pushed my forearm into his back and pushed him in the elevator, and I stood there and pressed number 2 so I could go to my floor. And I felt like his energy was staring at me, and I'm like, please say something. I even kind of took my, paused my music and things, and when you press the, where's my headphones at? I want to just see if you guys can hear this click noise. Can you guys hear that, that clicking noise with the headphones? So that's my headphones, and I'm like, the click is pretty loud and stuff, especially in the confined area. So I'm pretty sure he had to hear my music turn off, and I'm like, please say something. In fact, you know what? No, come to my job, while I'm working, please say something then. Message the manager, say something. But I'm like, honestly, at that point, I did not care. If he would have emailed my manager or said anything, I'm like, I don't care. That man knows he was taking too long going into that elevator. And I think even my managers know that some of them people at that job was, they were shady. Them people were different. They was not normal and stuff. So I'm like, bruh, I don't know why people have to act like that. And then, though, yeah, then the one girl, I remember she shook her credit card at me so I can hurry up and grab it and things. And I just kind of like, look, you know how like Ice Cube, how he looks at people when he's angry? That's overall how I looked at her. But it wasn't like as angry. It was just like, what are you doing? Stop that. Like, put your hand down. Like, I'll grab your card when I'm very, man, that was probably the one thing that I was like, I'm never going to miss. I'm like, I'm hoping like, you know, when this quarantine stuff is over with, like YouTube is taking off, I'm doing it full time, because I'm telling you, I cannot work around like people that I just don't overall know and stuff. Like these guys, like, and the thing is, it's like you'll just be like standing there, like, you know, like making dead on eye contact with them. They're not saying anything. And they just pretty much just holding their credit card in your face and stuff. And I'm like, so yeah, you can put your hand down. I know you trying to like promote the fact that you got like American Express. Everybody in this place got American Express. You're not the only one. So I'm saying like just put your hand down. Like I can care less what card you got and stuff. But yeah, but they'll do things like that. Then the one guy, he made a comment saying that I should have paid for college because I shortchanged him. What other stuff? Yeah, that guy. He, a lot of coworkers, when I told them that, they were kind of upset about it and things. Rightfully so. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, all right, you know, it's like, sorry, you feel like you're entitled to have, what, 2 pennies and things. Like everybody can't be college educated like you and stuff. Like, out here working at, my thing is like, bro, it ain't like you're a scientist or freaking what other like crazy, or a doctor or anything. You're working at for a clothing store. I'm like, you might as well be freaking Ed Bundy from was that his name, Ed Bundy from or no, not Ed, was it Ed Bundy, or the dad from Married with Children, a freaking shoe salesman? Because I'm saying, bro, it's like, it ain't like your job is that special. There's people in here with far more special jobs with you. Like, I remember I was so there's these like 2 people that was like highly important in Nordstrom's, because the one guy, I know that he will report to the Nordstrom brothers. And yeah, I'm like, okay, to me, I'm like, that's like the highest end job, like besides, like, he's pretty much like number 2 in things. So, but I don't know, to me, he was number 2 when it came to Nordstrom's and stuff. But yeah, he was cool with me. Me and this guy, we'd be having conversations and stuff. I remember he came in, was driving this fancy Porsche, looked over at me and waved, and I'm like, wow, all right. I'm like, you know, one of my favorite, like, he was a cool dude, though. I have to say, he was, like, up there, like, the favorite customer list. There's a lot of the, high-end Nordstrom employees that was, like, really cool with me and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what I did to you guys, but y'all are acting a lot better than, like, the people that's beneath you. And I would think that one would think that the one with the most experienced job would be the, like, entitled ones or snobby and all that stuff. But they were, like, if they probably would have been around my age, we definitely, yeah, it's like, or like, either way, it just seemed like that we would have been cool people regardless of our age. I don't know why I had to bring up the age and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like, I just feel like that overall, like, we, yeah, just would have been cool people if I, like, went to school with these guys or something. Like, they definitely, I feel like that there's a lot of people there. They definitely were like, maybe I shouldn't say that comment. I might mess around and offend somebody. Well, you know what? No, I ain't even working at that place no more. Definitely these guys, the ones that was like always just giving me a hard time for no reason, I can tell that they're not the ones like caring about Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. Like, if anything, they could have cared less if something would have happened to me if I was working at that place. They're like, oh, I'm sorry about the little black guy that worked around here and stuff, but yeah, I'm like, man, it's just sad people gotta act like that. And I'm like, bro, it's like, you work for Nordstrom. You're not freaking working for NASA or the United States, like, Army or military or something. Like, you're working for a clothing store. Like, go sit back down at your desk and figure out what shoes are gonna be on sale for next week. Like, get out of my face. But anyways, then there was other customers that was there. Now, speaking on the good ones, I feel like I spoke too long on the bad ones. The good customers, though, like, no, these guys, they're the type of people where it's like, you want to, like, you wish you were like a millionaire or a billionaire or something. Like, I wish I was like one of those guys that was like a billionaire, you know, just wanting to work in things for, just like at some like small end job just to see the environment and stuff. But I definitely, if I was a billionaire, I looked at them like, can you give me your bank information? I just, you know, need it for some reasons and stuff. Just give me your bank information. Give me your social security number, you know? Give me that stuff. Because, no, definitely, they're the type of people where you, like, want to, like, do nothing but nice things for them. Like, you want nothing but the, like, greater things for them and stuff. Like there's customers. I remember there was one customer. I was like giving her advice on like her kid and stuff. Well, was it really advice? I know she would like come to me and would be telling me about like situations with her kid, and I would just like tell her like some things I guess that can help. I don't know what I would necessarily call it advice. Overall, I did like tell her some things like, oh, okay, your kid's doing this, then I, like maybe this can work, or this is what I did when I was a kid. So I would like, kind of help them out on that. We would be cracking jokes. We'd be messing with each other. There's this one customer there. That's one thing I'm like, dang, like I'm definitely gonna have to go when like things open back up. I'm definitely gonna have to go out there and. Well, I hope a lot of those guys are working from. I think they are working from home. I hope a lot of those guys are, because I'm like, yeah, it was a pretty like messed up situation and things. But no, there was one customer. He was a Patriots fan, and we would constantly be going back and forth, like talking about like which team is better, Seahawks or Patriots. Seahawks would beat the Patriots one day, and I just come into work just like so happy. Every time I see him, just a big smile. I'm like, yeah, you see that game last night and things? And we'll be cussing each other out and stuff. What was it? What was it, man? Oh, there was like, I think that was like one of the last few times I seen him. And I said something to him, and he just straight like I don't know, I don't think he was actually mad, but he did cuss me out and things. And me and it was like another friend of ours. We were just cracking up, laughing and stuff. I think it was the Patriots had lost or something. Or yeah, they that's what it was. The Patriots, they were out of the playoffs and stuff. And I'm all like, it's messed up out the Patriots, and he's just like turns around, looks at me, F you, and I'm like, that's all right. I'm sorry. I won't bring it up for the rest of the day, but. Yeah, I'm like, man, it's like customers like that where you can like see them outside of the work and be having like conversations and be talking with them and stuff. Like those are the ones where I'm like, man, like why did this stuff had to happen? Like I'm definitely gonna like go back out there and visit them and things, because I'm like, yo, you guys. And if I see that one dude and he's taking forever in the elevators, I'm gonna be the same thing, stiff arm to the back, and I'm like just gonna stand there. And this time, just to like make sure, I'm like just so I can like, if he does say anything, I'm gonna take my headphones off, just so I'm like, please say something, I dare you to. But what other things? Yeah, there is customers I've like followed on social media and stuff. There was one customer, I thought that was crazy. She ended up leaving the place before everything had happened, but we went to school with each other. We actually went to TJ, Thomas Jefferson High School. And I think, how did I figure that out? I think that's what it was, is that I was all like, I think I like we got to like talking about like where we're from and stuff. And I said like, oh, I live out in Federal Way. And she's like, oh, seriously, me too. And I think it was either one of us had asked each other, what high school did you go to? And she said Thomas, one of us said Thomas Jefferson. I'm like, oh, dope. Like, went to Thomas Jefferson myself, and then sure enough, yeah, she did. Like, she went there while I was going there and stuff. She was a senior and I was a freshman, so I'm trying to think though. She probably seen me or heard me in the hallways, because I was either running around them hallways acting crazy, or I was up and like yelling at a teacher and things in them hallways. I was forever yelling at a teacher when I was in school. I'm like, dang, I feel like now I'm like much more calm. Like, I don't be yelling at people and stuff. Like, I just like, if I want to, I just like, I'll yell at them in my head just to, make myself feel better and things. But yeah, I'm like, man, it was like a lot of those customers was cool and stuff. Like, what else? Then even there's that points in times where I was like befriending people that didn't even work at the job. There's this security dude that worked down the street from my job, and I was becoming friends with him. I remember there was this DJ. Me and him, we talked the whole time when we were on the bus, and then I remember that day that was funny too, because the bus. So we have these buses where they're like, they look like they could be like freaking an airplane in the inside, but it's just a giant bus and things. But it only has one door, so it ain't like where some of these buses have double doors and stuff. So it takes a lot of people. They pretty much just like an airplane. One row stands up, they leave. Another row stands up, they leave. And so I think the guy that I was talking to, I think it was him he might have been taking too long or something, but I wasn't even tripping about it. I'm like, it ain't like I gotta go anywhere, I'm going home, so I'm like, I'm not in no rush. But anyways, so there's this dude, and I'm like, don't do that, man, please don't do that. But and this guy that I'm talking to, he's like this like big black guy, like he was maybe like two of me put together, like 2.5 of me put together and stuff. So Anyways, I think he was getting his stuff, or he was like kind of like he might have been walking slow. I don't know. But this white guy behind us, he was like, "You think you can hurry up?" And I'm like, "Dad, no." I looked at him. I'm like, "Dad, you know, like what's that like gif of Jonah Hill where he's all like shaking his head like, nah, don't do that." That's pretty much that was me. And I'm like, don't do that, man. I'm like, don't tell a black man to hurry up. Black men, they don't need that type of energy in their life right now. I don't know where this black man's heading to, and I don't know where you heading to, but you gonna be late. And I'm like, you just gonna have to deal with this black man, you know, being like, you know, taking his time and stuff. But don't rush him. Don't do that and things. But he did, and that black guy turned around and just looked at him and was all like, "You don't want to do that, buddy." And I'm like, I'm like, a confrontation would have started. I don't know if this white guy got friends, and then this black guy, he probably would have thought like, okay, now we're friends now you gotta jump in and help me in this fight. And I'm like, I don't really want to, because I just want to go home and just eat some food and just make some YouTube videos and stuff. But nah, he was cool. He makes good music too. I listen to some of his music on SoundCloud. His music's pretty good. His name is like Spiral, I think, or something like that. But anyways, yeah, I was befriending people left and right when I was downtown and stuff. Then it's like getting back on my coworkers and stuff. It was like cool coworkers. So I was like befriending. I remember I befriended. There was one coworker that worked with us. I befriended her sister, her boyfriend, and who else did I befriend? Was that it? I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. It was her sister, and then the coworker's boyfriend and stuff. And I was all like, yeah, they chilled too. Who else? Yeah, I ain't met like coworkers, like kids, wives, husbands, coworkers, wives, kids, and husbands and stuff. I'm saying, like, it was just like, it was a crazy environment, just like how cool everybody was and stuff. And then yeah, of course, then my supervisor, Jack, I watched him, like, you know, join a band. He went on tour and stuff, and I'm like, it's just cool, you know, like really just see like that place like progress and things. And then it's the last few days, like talking about the last day, I got like a picture that I need to post and things. I've been like straight up like missing, like kept like forgetting to post that picture and stuff. But I posted a picture of like one of the, like, I think it was like the second to last day I had worked there, because the last couple of weeks, so I was they pretty much like had gave me a week off and stuff. They say like, oh, you only got work Monday and then that's it. So I got like a week off, was chilling, recording YouTube videos and stuff. And then the next week, then I just worked that Monday again. But then after at that point, then we had got furloughed. Yeah, furloughed. So we all had got furloughed, and then eventually we all got laid off and stuff from that place. But a lot of us had like side jobs or jobs that we were all like, you know, on the side, because I had YouTube, everybody else had their thing going on, and or they was out like finding, because I know some of them had to like find like a job like during the pandemic and things. I'm like, man, that's wild. But nah, last couple of days I had worked there was literally like a few people coming through that place, and I'm like, dang, like it's like wild that it was like that. But I was like, to see that place, like there is at times where that place would just be ransacked with them like customers and stuff. We'll be ringing up like maybe 500 customers and things, and then that, like, the last day I worked there, I rang up maybe less than 20. It had to have been less than 20. There was not a lot of customers that was coming through there. We actually, I think we ended up closing early and stuff. And yeah, I'm like, man, it was just like, you know, messed up. And then at that time, I remember I bought these self-lacing shoes. So the supervisor, Jack, I will always show him my new shoes. And he'll always give me a cool compliment. I say thank you and stuff. And yeah, then, you know, that was our exchange, you know. But I mean, yeah, we were cool and things. But yeah, we would have like a exchange when I would wear some new shoes. So I had got these self-lacing shoes, and I wanted to wear those shoes so bad. But it had rained every single time, and I'm like, the shoes had like all this like mechanical stuff in the inside, so if it got any water damage, the shoes is gonna be ruined. So I was like, okay, they're perfect. It's gonna be sunny next week. But then that's when they came out with this work schedule where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna work a day. I'm like, man, y'all serious? Y'all gonna do this to me? I came and showed Jack my new shoes now. Next, I'm like, nah, bro. Here's the thing, like during the summertime, we're we're going to we gonna have to meet up, and I'm gonna have to show you these shoes. I'm gonna have to show you how they work, because I remember I downloaded an app and you can self-lace the shoes from your phone and stuff, and I'm like, bro, No, I ain't gonna spend no $400 on some shoes and not show Jack. So just Jack, when you hear this, I'm just saying you're gonna see them shoes one day. All right. So he did kind of see them when I bought them, but yeah, but I ain't get like it's different when you wear them and stuff. You know, it's like the environment is different and things. So. And I know people are like, you could just brought the shoes in and then just wear them inside and stuff. I can't do that. Nope. I bring one pair of shoes and that's it. I ain't bringing extra pairs of shoes and stuff. Because my thing is like, what if I slip and fall while I'm outside and I fall on those shoes and it mess up something? If it had been like some other shoes, maybe, but I'm like, nah, not those shoes. Them shoes is too expensive to be bringing around in places and stuff. So I only wore them shoes once, and yeah, the one day the one day I wore them was the last day I worked there. So I went out in style. I told myself that the day I quit that place or the day I leave that place, I was gonna go out in style and stuff. But but it was just under the circumstances. I'm like, dang man, it was messed up. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, the place was cool. I enjoyed it. You know, from the good moments all the way to the bad moments and stuff. Like, you know, it's something that I definitely would like go through all over again. Only thing I just really wish for is that, yeah, I mean, you know what? No, I wouldn't want to go through all that stuff again. It was too much. I'm an impatient person. I wouldn't want to go 4 years of working at that place again. But I don't know why. It was really crazy to me, like, thinking that prior before. And I was like, what? Like, I don't see myself working here after 4 years. Like, I hope something done popped off with YouTube by then. And I know I was like really like working like prior before the like quarantine and the coronavirus and stuff. Like I was already staying up pretty late recording videos and things. So yeah, I remember it was like when this year had started. I think I had started staying up till like maybe 1 a.m. Recording videos and stuff. Wake up like 5 a.m. and then head into work and things, and then you know, try to work on some stuff while I was there and things. And yeah, overall did that. But for the most part, yeah, I was slacking when I started working at this place with YouTube. And I was like, yeah, it was. But I was still managing to get things done. But man, it was just like, honestly though, it was just crazy to think like the last time I went to the place, like that was the last time I went to the place, and I didn't think that was gonna be my last time. It's kind of like that like old meme where they're like, you hung out at one of those like electrical boxes and things in your neighborhood for the last time as kids, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, man, we sure did. Like, we sure did hang out at one of those things for the last time. I'm like, man, that's wild. That is seriously wild. But, anyways, yeah, that's all. That's honestly all I can think about with this episode. It was a good place. You know, I recommend like, you know, like when that place, if it ever does open back up, I definitely recommend, you know, people going there and like working there, eating there, good food, good service. Everybody's cool there and stuff. But yeah, it was a dope place. I'm gonna miss it. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you are new to the YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe. But if you're viewing this off of a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you're purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.